G'day scrappers. Well, what a strange week it's been so far, and yeah, I'm stuck with just keep going with processing all the stuff that I've got here, which is a good thing. This is a Samsung Office Server 7400 Office Serve, so it's kind of like a switch, I'd imagine. Yeah, unfortunately, I wanted to go street scrapping because my favourite area starts this week, and well, last night the government decided to go on lockdown again. So someone sneezed and they decided, hey, well, if you sneeze, you must have something, so we'll we'll lock down again for 5 days. So, I mean, it couldn't have, the timing couldn't have been any worse. I mean, I was so looking forward to go street scrapping. So, hopefully, they're true to their word. And it is only 5 days. You know what they're normally like. They start everyone off slow, and then just stretch it another week. Yeah. So these boards, they're okay. They're pretty good. They're all got quite a few gold band crystal oscillators. 2, 3, 4. This one also 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, they're still kind of, I'd like them to be like a server grade, but they're still kind of like a peripheral board. They're really not that spectacular, but they're good. Again, gold band crystals 1, 2, 3. So I'm not sure what to do with these. And that one, 2 gold band crystals, but a few more chips. Oh, there's another gold band crystal underneath. So, still good boards. Okay, so this one here, well, it's all transformers. That's quite an unusual board. Technically, if you cut this part off, this would be a peripheral board, and this part would just be pretty much low grade. Might be able to get away with it in mid grade, but not really. Ideally, like if you were bringing the boards to me, ideally cut this part off, throw this in mid grade, throw that in low grade, because it's just transformers. Here's another very, same, just blue transformers this time. Yeah, but these might be the MLCC type things there, so they might be worth taking off. But again, peripheral this side, low grade this side. So they couldn't have timed it worse. I mean, last year I missed that area completely. We were in total lockdown for a long time. So, same deal here. What do you do? I mean, geez, I couldn't believe my luck when I heard the news last night and they said, oh yeah, here we go. Oh well, what do you do? So hopefully it's only 1 week, because I really got to get to this area. As I said, it's my favourite spot, and just same deal again. Well, this one, yeah, it's a little bit harder. This one might get away with this being a mid-grade. Yeah, if they extend it next week again, keep going, then it's not going to be looking very good for my street scrapping adventure videos. A little hard drive here, just a 40 gig. Yeah. It's a mid-grade board again. It does have a BGA there, but well, that was interesting. Quite a. What have we got? 10 boards. At least the boards were nice and easy. There is a backplane board under there, so let's see if we can get that out. Yeah, I just can't believe it. You know, I was gearing up and I've been working for like 2-3 weeks straight, scrapping as much as I could to make room so, you know, I can get into street scrapping hard, and yeah, they do it to me again. I don't think that, you know, this whole stuff that's going on is ever going to end. I mean, it's just, what a crazy situation that we're in. Really not sure here. Yeah, so oh well, you know, it's still good for me because I get a chance to keep going. I think by next week I'm going to virtually have nothing here, which will be a good thing, you know. I'll be able to do some things that I really have to catch up on. Okay, so this looks like a giant power supply unit. So yeah, I thought I'd just touch base because it's been like nearly a week since I've put up a video, and yeah, just sort of let you know. And I know some people were looking forward to street scrapping and stuff. Well, we'll just have to wait one more week. See, here's our backplane board that we want. Get pretty good value out of backplane boards. Yeah. So as you know, I'm trying to reduce the volume of stuff. I'm even trying to reduce the amount of bins that I've got on site. I want some spaces where it's nice and clear, like the driveway. The driveway is fantastic now, and just certainly takes off a lot of pressure. You know, walking out and not seeing work, things that need to be done in every direction, you know, because I've got to live here too, and I just want a little bit of clean space. So that'll be the good thing, and you never know, I keep saying it, I might even get a chance to actually melt some of my stockpile copper and turn some into some nice bars. Yeah, I did a couple of good pickups, and I had a good sale. I took my good laptops, sometimes from offices. I pick up really good laptops, especially this time of year, because offices and stuff, businesses have incentives to upgrade their stuff for tax time, and they get so they replace a lot of their previous year laptops and stuff and PCs. So yeah, I managed to clear off a nice big batch of PCs. I might have showed you in the previous video. There's a whole pile in the garage. Alright, so there's our backplane board. Not the most spectacular. It does have, you know, obviously nice gold pins all the way through. but not as thick and heavy as a lot of them can be. There you go. Still put it in as backplane board. Oh, that's 11 boards. Pretty darn good. Plus the big power supply. And yeah, we're done there. So this power supply, it's yeah, a couple of low-grade boards. I might as well just leave it complete as a power supply. It's actually quite a nice one. It's got some nice switch there. Yeah, so back plane plus 10 boards. All right, awesome. So I'll get rid of this and might see what else I have interesting to scrap. Yeah, not a great deal. I'm starting to run out of things. Let me take you on a little tour. Yeah, so all these boxes are just mostly cable and keyboards, but mostly cable I just picked up yesterday. So, but there was all PCs. They're all gone. They're all sold. Yeah, some fresh stock come in, some fresh laptops, just mostly scrap laptops. But yeah, the garage, it doesn't look that spectacular, but it'll only take one day of focusing on, and that's all going to be gone. So just more stuff that's come in today. You know, in the last couple of days, a lot of IP phones. I scrap them out, take the boards out, because IP phones have got pretty good boards. Regular phones, they're not worth it, but IP phones are okay, and then I send the plastic off to get recycled. So pretty much everything out of there. Everything gone pretty much from the back here. All those PCs that have been sitting there for quite a while, that's all gone and never to return. What I'll probably do later is I'll put a few wheelie bins. I've got a project, that barrel at the back there, that's the same as this barrel here. And there is another, I think, I know there's at least one more, but there might even be a fourth barrel. So these are all just your DVD, CD-ROM drive boards. And I've just kept them because of the gold pins. So I decided to finally process these and get rid of some of these barrels. I don't want these barrels around. I'm just going to send them off to plastic recycling. These ones that have got a narrow top and a fat end, they're hard to put anything big in there, and they're just too big anyway. So I'm going to process these. What I'm going to do is cut this side off, and then throw the rest into mid-grade board. All I'll probably do is like remove one chip here and there, just depends on the board. Some I'll just leave completely. So that's, yeah, I might get onto that next, and that'll reduce quite a lot of that kind of stuff. Still got some PCs here, but not a great deal. Pretty darn good. Here's another one with the CD-ROM boards, so that'll reduce. So I figured if I process them as I was always going to do, I'll at least be able to turn 3 bins into 1 bin just of these pins, and then I'll be pretty happy with that. Yeah, still boards need sorting. Oh, there's another bin of this bin is completely full of these IP phones, but they are Cisco, so thin clients, all kinds of things. Never ending, guys. Even though I'm getting down, it seems never ending, but we're going to really get there. So yeah, let me just sort myself out, and we'll continue on. So I might as well start off on this tub here, as I was talking about, the CD-ROM boards, all I want is basically just these gold pins here, and then the rest is just going to go as a mid-grade board. And as I said, I've stocked up too much, and I want to process the telephones, and I want to use this barrel as a plastic recycling barrel, so I can just fill it up with the telephone plastic and then give this straight to my buyer, and he'll shred not only the plastic but also this plastic tub. So that's all I'm going to do for a while. I don't want to do too much because it's quite taxing on the hand. Let me just fix up this microphone. Yeah, it's and it's starting to rain, so kind of off and on, so I might as well just do this for a while. Yeah, so some of the boards are a little bit better than just mid-grade board. So what I do is I remove, choice pick something off the board just to bring it down a little bit, just my own personal thing. This is kind of the only way I've really worked out what to do, is just start on both ends with a cut, and then just sort of break it like that, nice and easy. There's my mid-grade board. It's nothing to depopulate. Better off just giving this as a mid-grade. And all I do here now, just to reduce space, is I just want to get rid of these 4 pins. They might be brass or whatever. I'm not too much work to bother with them little things. So just to cut them off, further reduce the size, and that's it. And so that's my gold pins. And yeah, it's I've been meaning to do this for a long time. I didn't sort of expect to get 3 or 4 barrel loads, but yeah, I can't do it all in one go, like not even a whole barrel in one go, because it's just too taxing on the hand. So I've got to break it up, and maybe an hour and a bit of this, and then have a break, scrap a few things. That's all we want. And so later, eventually, I'll have a whole, just a barrel just of these uniform IDE pins. And well, they're quite bright and shiny, so they're not really super gold recovery stuff. And it's a lot of work, it's going to be a lot of work, cutting out these pins. Sometimes the pins go all the way through in gold plating, but most of the time. But it's just something that I'll work out a little bit later, and decide whether I want to either process them, or because it'll be, if you got like 1,000 of these, or probably more, a couple thousand of them, it's a lot of work, a lot of time. And so I've always got the option to just pass them on to someone else, sell them as gold recovery pins, kind of half ready to go. And so this board here, I just take off an IC chip, whether it's a good IC chip or not, doesn't matter. Okay, so yeah, that's all I'm doing. And like, if I didn't take off that part, that's 20% extra space, and that's so 20% more space it's going to take up back in the barrel. So this one's obviously a really old vintage style, a little bit different. So all I want is that part in there. There we go. So these are, because it's a more of a vintage board, the pins are slightly better, not super pins. And this board here, well, you know, it's a really good board, so I want to just bring it down to mid-grade. So I'll throw this into depopulating, and I'll do that later, where some of these are really brittle, so very easy. Might as well just throw them straight into the mid-grade bin. Yeah, so it's a, you know, this part, it's a, you know, very laid back thing, and it's good to do when you want to have a break from scrapping. You know, ideally though, you process these as they come out, as you scrap out a PC or whatever, and you get your pins. So this part here doesn't have gold pins, so I'll cut that out, and that's all we want. But with me depopulating, even take a bit of this brass. Yeah, with me, because I buy a lot of boards, and so these also come to me as mid-grade boards, and so just to get a little bit of value for myself, I put them aside that people bring me. And that one straight into mid-grade. Nothing worth, you know, it's not worth taking anything off some of them, or most of them, and devaluating. There we are, just a little set of pins. So yeah, yeah, unfortunately this lockdown thing is I'm pretty sure it's not going to be just 5 days. I'm pretty sure it's might even take off this little flat pack. It's not going to devalue it. It's still going to be a mid-grade board, but just a bonus. There. So they're not gold. There we go. So unfortunately, I've got a feeling that they're going to extend this lockdown longer, and maybe I miss out on another week of street scrapping in my favourite area. That's just going to be, you know, pretty sad. You know, just can't take a break with this street scrapping stuff, you know. It's not, you know, as I keep saying, it's not necessarily for, you know, just for the stuff that I pick up, but it's more so for just going out and having a bit of a break and a bit of fun. So these pins, there's only a tiny little set in there. That's just a female plug, so I'll leave these, but this board is actually a higher end board. You can see a nice BGA there, so, and a couple of really good BGAs in the middle there. So I want them 3, and even one nice one at the back, and then send it off as a mid-grade board. Yeah, so yeah, I just, once they start these little lockdowns, you know, they start them off slow, say, oh, 1 week, you know, and it's just to settle people down. And then they'll say, oh no, another week, and it's just, yeah, what do? You know, you just got to go along with it, and but I tell you what, it doesn't just affect, you know, business and people's incomes, but it's, you know, it can play with your mind a little bit as well. It's just, you know, kind of depressing. Still a mid-grade board. Yeah. think, there's a kid riding around on one of those motorized push bikes, or it might be a scooter or something. Why not? You know, kids are better off going around riding motorbikes and all that sort of stuff around, and getting experience moving on a motorized thing, rather than sitting inside and playing video games. You know, at least they're out and about and, you know, having a bit of fun. That's what it's all about. And yeah. Yeah, so I have been incredibly busy, considering I haven't really been busy pickup wise. I've only been getting like one decent pickup a week, you know. You know, I've knocked back a few jobs just because they were just too small and too far to drive. And, you know, a lot of people don't realise the low value in certain eWaste, like your printers and keyboards and monitors and stuff like that. Well, especially keyboards and printers. And then, you know, your domestic, you know, they want you to pick up a fridge and a microwave, but, you know, it's just not worth going out, booking them in and going out, spending 2 or 3 hours doing the whole job back and forth for you know, printers. Basically just pass them on, don't get any value for them. Same as keyboards. So what's the point of doing it? So yeah, sometimes you've just got to knock back work. Just say sorry, it's just not viable to send out a driver and to do all that, you know. So I'll take off a couple of things there. You know, don't know what people, you know, some people think that, oh, you know, I don't know whether they think that we get subsidised by the government for doing the pickup or something like that, you know. No, there's no subsidies. We rely on what we pick up to actually make it worthwhile. You know, because you still got to, even PCs and stuff, you still, most of the PCs are scrap, and so you still got to process them before you can actually even make $7-8 out of a PC, you know. So it's not easy. All right, yep. So a few chips to depopulate off that. Speaking of depopulating, I do have quite a lot of boards still to depopulate. I have been getting down. I've spent a half a day this week depopulating boards, because I still want to get the garage completely clear, so when I do good pickups, you know, I can use the garage to stockpile stuff until I get onto it. But yeah, so I'll just probably continue on here for a while. You get the picture. So again, this one's pretty simple. I'll take off this IC and this flat pack and still leave it as a good mid-grade board. There you go. You don't even really notice it, and still a mid-grade board. you know. Yeah, so not sure what I'll scrap out next. I mean, this barrel is, you know, it's just one barrel. It's one of the, it's not the biggest, but one of the bigger ones, you know, and there's a few hours of work here, you know, so, you know, I keep saying to people, yet I don't do it myself, is, you know, mostly when you're pulling these out of DVD drives, should process them straight away how you want them, rather than stockpiling a crazy amount of stuff. You know, but they'll be in the end, just as how I'm cutting them, it'll be a good little commodity. Like, even if I don't go further and take the pins out, which I probably will one day. It's more when I stop picking up stuff and just going back to hobby level, and then that's when I'll probably process this kind of thing. Just sit there, but yeah, like I said, the pins in these aren't super high value, so nothing to get overly excited on in these, but it is, you know, there's still a little bit of gold there, and it's this one, it's more about time than anything, and for most people, better off just leaving it on the board and selling it as a mid-grade board, you know. Because for what you get out of it, and especially these full-size boards, they do take up a lot of space. So yeah, it'd be really good to get rid of all this stuff and just have one barrel just of the pins, and that's one more step towards, that's probably from a hard drive. Yeah, one more closer step towards a clear yard, so I can focus on all the other things that I want to do, and not just scrap wise, but also just personal hobby wise, like gardening and just stuff like that. You know, can't dedicate your whole life to scrapping or trying to make money. You know, you got to have a bit of downtime and do things that you kind of enjoy as well. So all right, well, I'll just continue on here. I think you've seen enough of this process, and yeah, I'll come back when I'm sort of down a bit and start looking at doing looking at what else to do. I am definitely going to have to start on some of the telephones that I've got, and some industrial stuff. So I might do a couple of those big industrial kind of units. I don't have the super size ones, they're already scrapped and gone, but I do have mid-size ones. All right, well, leave me to it, and I'll see you with the next little job I got. All right, well, a slight change of plans. I've barely even knocked the top off it. Probably done, what, 30? To be honest, it's a lot of work, and it's something that I don't really want to do. And if you do it and you're breaking off a lot of this, I recommend wearing a mask, because you know you got all the little fibers coming up, and on top of that, already I've only done 30. My hands already getting really tight and sore. And you know, if I went through this, even half this barrel, tomorrow I won't even be able to move. It's just too much. It's this similar thing with the prongs off these plugs. I limit myself when I do like 100 cords with plugs. A lot of times I just have to throw them into scrap steel because it's just it gets too much on your hand. You know, it's okay to do 3 or 4. These should have been done as, you know, as I've been pulling them out of you know, CD drives and stuff. I should have, you know, I have done a few. I think I got a couple of small buckets of just the pins. But apart from like these slightly older school ones with a little bit better pins, these ones I'll still take off. But all I'm going to be looking at here is just a couple of chips that I can take off and just leave it at that. These more modern ones, you know, just like take this tiny little flat pack off and then just throw it in, because it's just going to be too much work, and you know, and then that doesn't even stop there. You know, like here from Hard Drive, they're really good pins, so they're definitely worth going for. But even in the end, when I do go for gold recovery stuff, it's really light gold, and so the amount of work it's going to have to be put into putting, you know, there's going to be a month of work if I've got a few thousand of these pins. So you know, prices are okay, and I might as well just sell them complete as mid-grade and just get a little bit of value out of that. So that's all I'm going to do right now. Is I am going to finish off this tub, but yeah, it's just going to be depopulating, or not necessarily. Well, yeah, depopulating is probably the wrong word. It's more just a choice pick, and leave it at that. Because yeah, it's just too much. So obviously, I don't want to take too much and, you know, reduce the value. But for the size, they do have quite a few chips. So at least this tiny little flat pack, you know, if there's a more chunkier IC chip, then I'll take that, the easy ones. But these ones I'll still leave them. So this is the only one that I'll probably still take the pins off. Some of these old vintage ones, because they're a little bit better. But these smaller ones, yeah. And so here it's quite, you know, loaded. It's even got chips under there. So take the flat pack and the IC. Not that necessarily there's going to be gold in these, but you know, as with all IC chips, it's hit and miss, especially these plastic ones, you know. Okay, well, yeah, I can actually see gold bonding wire. Definitely the bonding wire, you won't be able to see it, but the bonding wire has definitely got gold plating over copper. So that's cool. And here, same thing. Little flat pack. And this one's a bit stuck in. Yeah, so, oh well. I could have done it a long time ago and not have this mountain of, you know, 3 or 4 barrels of mid-grade boards just sitting there. You know, I could have sold them a long time ago, but oh well, it's the start of the new financial year anyway, so I'll just yeah, fill up a 1 tub of mid-grade, because I've got to go to my send off all my boards to my buyer within the next week, so that'll be good. Can do it for another pay day. And yeah, yeah, I had, you know, I don't know why I decided to just keep, you know, just putting them aside. I mean, it was kind of like, oh, you know, got more better things to do. you know, and I thought it was a good idea, but no, just I mean, still a bit of work going through every one and picking off one little chip, but yeah, just the way. And boards like this with the higher end BGA, these two BGAs were already taken off, and the BGA there. So I'd imagine this was a board that someone sent to me, sold to me, and they took off a couple of BGAs, and they still got mid-grade. Is another good one. Wow, so this one shouldn't have even been in, it might have been just gone in by mistake. Beautiful BGA, nice chunky gold band crystal oscillator there, some tantalums and MLCCs, another gold band crystal there. These nice little BGAs there. Yeah, it's actually a higher end board, quite a good board. And these ones, the modern day ones, SAS plugs or whatever they are, absolutely useless. Yeah, so, oh well, leave it with me. That's all I'm going to do for this session being out here. And see, some of these, they're just not worth depopulating. It would just devalue it too much, and it's no good for my buyer, you know. Like, I've got to look after my buyer as well, even though his prices aren't always necessarily that great. They could be better if I compare internationally. But oh well, what do you do? Well, I'm certainly going to get rid of these 3 barrels now. All right, well, leave it with me, guys. I'll just keep plodding along here, and I'll come back when I've got something more interesting to do. Well, there you go. I've emptied the barrel, and surprisingly, just how many boards can fit in this barrel, it's just insane. So there's one tub, and I emptied so I got 2 tubs, nice big chunky tubs. And yeah, as I said, I was just going to choice pick a few things, nothing too dramatic. So yeah, these are all the flat packs that I took off. Most of them are these little ones. And yeah, they if I can get an example, you know, what they called win something. Yeah, but I think these will be okay, and they're only tiny, but it all adds up. So got a decent amount of them, and they're the good IC chips, the chunky ones, the one that I opened up, and there was, you know, showed a bit of gold in the bonding wire at least. So a decent amount of them, and also got a little bunch of the memory IC chips, the nice little flat ones. I keep these separate just because, I mean, when I was stockpiling my ICs, the only thing that I didn't do that I should have done is instead of mixing them all up and just having these aside, I should have put the ceramic ones aside. Like, these are all plastic, but you know, as you know, there's a lot of ceramic ones, and so it's going to be a big job one day having to sort out the plastic to the ceramic, because they're both, you know, they're a different process for gold recovery. And some BGAs, wasn't many, probably about 10 BGAs, decent little BGAs, gold corner chip ones, and that's it. So yeah, I'm happy with that. I got my little bit of gold recovery, a little bit of extra value, and yeah, I'm just happy to get rid of them. And well, there's one barrel out the way, so I might start on some telephones and start filling this barrel up with plastic, because I want to get rid of these barrels. They're just awkward because they've got a narrow top. You can't put too many, you know, anything big in there, because you can't tip it out, and they're just yeah, just I don't really need them anymore, and they're just they're a bit of an eyesore. They're pretty dirty and old, so now I'm going to send these off to plastic recycling and just use my wheelie bins. All right, well, yep, I think yeah, that's all I need to do for now, because I even tried to cut a few more of the good plugs, and yeah, my hand, it almost feels like I've got a sprained hand, so it's just been wear and tear over the last, over the years, that I just can't use that action too often anymore, so it would have absolutely killed me, so I'm happy there. All right, might start getting onto some of these Cisco IP phones and getting rid of them as well, and get rid of the plastic.